Everything back in gear. Mic check, mic check. Everything back in gear. Alright, cool. So we're cool. Boop. Now live and there. That'll be suitable. So let's see. Okay, so we are continuing our work on Season 2, Episode 8, Reflections. Why can I still hear myself? You should not be making sound. Thank you. Bloop. Thank you. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Pretty straight up. So we'll go ahead and grab that real quick and get into it here. Boop. Boop, boop, boo. We'll come in here, we'll get a screenshot of color capture here and a darker here. Totes there. Looking at the page. And let's see, what brush are we going to use? We will go with some Old Faithful here. Do. I'll come through. Make sure it's on the right layer. Add an additional layer. We switched up colors, so we're gonna what you got? Okay. Yeah, right on. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. I'll screenshot that as well. Back up in here. I'm gonna drop that down. Yeah. Nice. Now, let's grab a second sample. Good. Let's see here. Remove the spacing. Feels about right. Next layer in. I'm going to switch to let's go there. Give this guy a twist like that. So we're going to dot in some of this undercolor. So yeah, you saw me skip doing the reflection part here, and obviously it's just because like you had seen in the last episode, The way that you approach doing reflections in Photoshop is painfully easy and doesn't need redundant steps. So I am and so when we're making shrubbery, it is a process of adding paint and then subtracting it like that, create that breakup foliage look. And I'm always working from the top down. You tell almost. Yeah. And we'll come through again here with some more of the highlights. That looks fantastic. There we go. Yeah. Nice. Very good. Very, very good. Bop, 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 bop. Now we fill it top down. Is the way, because obviously this tool is really tall. So if I just came in here just like that, it would just cleave through all this stuff. And so I want to make sure I'm respecting the form I'm building. So I go from working up here and working my way down. Work backwards, forwards, top down. That is the flow of the go. Let's see where he's at. Hey, making it easy on me, Bob. Awesome. I have to pay close attention to these things because I don't see the color, so I have to. Come on. Sample proper for me, buddy. Thank you. So I have to color sample on everything. Same thing with photos, or when I'm doing, when I'm when I'm working off of real life imagery, photos and stuff. I'm having to color reference the heck out of it to make sure that I'm getting everything I need to be getting. There's a lot of fun there. But it's been working so far. So far, so good. So what? There, and then bop. We're going to come through with a different texture. I mean, it's the same brush, but we're going to change its shape so it behaves differently. You always use for foliage like this. I always go with darker colors first, and then the lighter colors second. The darker, the lower value, the closer to black, goes underneath, and that might be logical to some of you that are already experienced with this sort of thing. But the holes that are punched through the highlights, you can see the color underneath it gives it more depth. So it wouldn't make sense to have the dark on top because the lighter colors coming from sun highlights or just light hitting it in general, sun or otherwise. Change the angle on that. Let's see how far he takes it. He's just kind of doing it back and forth a bit. So we're going to go back to this layer and give that a twist. Flush that out. This music always reminds me of the original Superman movie. I don't know why. This style is really reminiscent to the what's the word I'm looking for? The painting, the print blocks that you'll see, like down at Pike's Place Market. There's a lot of artisans that that offer, you know, artwork and prints, like Japanese prints is one of them. I don't know if Japanese prints is accurate or not, but they're paintings that are done with block print, like stamps, like with different types of stamps. And this style always reminds me of that process, because all I'm essentially, I mean, for the foliage at least, what I'm essentially doing is taking block stamps and stamping it onto the canvas with colors. So it's a meditative process, I would say. It's just stomping stuff onto paper until it looks good. So just give me a second here. I'll make sure I get everything squared away. Okay. Sorry, I'm distracted there for a minute. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where I'm at. Yeah, I screwed that up. Put the color layer down on the same thing. That's fine. It looks fine. But it does look like I have made my shrubbery far smaller than him. So let's see what happens if I go for resizing here. Sometimes this stuff works great, sometimes not so much. And it looks like that's successful, so we'll go with that. Be mindful of the water line there. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Yep, okay, so he's doing the reflections and stuff. God, it looks fantastic. So, there, and yeah, that feels right. It's close enough anyway. So we're going to drop this all into its own thing. We're going to call this back tree line. And we are going to duplicate that group. We are then going to merge that group. You know where we're going, down to the water layer. Boop, 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 boop. We're going to manipulate, free transform, flip vertical, press enter, pull down. Yeah, okay. Now we know what's in the way. Now we know what the problems are here. Oh my god, that's going to look amazing. That is going to look amazing. So let's scratch this stuff out of the way. There. So that looks pretty good. Let's make sure I'm not crazy. I am not crazy. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to free transform, skew, around like that, and then let's warp. A bit of a warp there. I'm going to save real quick, take a sip. Good. And let's come back here. I think there's some unfinished business here. Yep, unfinished. And come back with a different brush. We're going to come through. Here like that. Yeah, man. Okay, so check that out. Super subtle, but you've got this. When I that's not the right layer. We'll close that back up. Okay, so checking out the water layer. When I first started, I had started off with these lines here, and I've been putting the reflections down underneath it. Not so obvious there, but here. Those water streaks really start to stand out, and I mean that is a subtle thing, but again, that's just a detail. It's a detail that just makes me fall in love with this process. Palette, backwater here. I want to come in here. Dot a little bit here. All right. Okay, back to here. So again, we're going to lighten that just a touch. I'm going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur to soften it up a little bit. I want to soften a little bit less. Here's crisp. Here is super faded. I want to be, yeah, just about like that. That feels right. So click OK. Waiting for the hourglass to clear. Filter. Blur. Motion blur. It's parallel, so it's working with the same lines that I'm using already, and that is the same amount of blur that I applied to the mountains underneath, so that remains appropriate. I will change that as we get closer to as the foreground comes further forward. I'll reduce the amount of blurring so that there's less distortion in the background, but that's stitched up. I'll take these and we'll put them right here. Close that back up, hit save one more time, and let's go back to the master, see what he's got going on. Cool. Making trees and adding water. Nice. Okay, cool. We'll go with. Actually, let's wait just another second and see where else he goes. Fun. Where you going here, bub? You are making trees. Awesome. So let's go back here and find a good color grab. There, that'll do. There's this awesome Thai food restaurant that opened just down the street from us in '96 in Aurora, and here in North Seattle, and boy, it is fantastic food. Just fantastic. Thai Kitchen, that's what the place is called. It's awesome. So awesome food. It is great having a good Thai food restaurant just down the street. How we doing? Yeah, okay, we're 18 minutes in. tree line. Apparently I am not done with my back tree line yet. We're going to come in here. Wait a second. Here. Okay, back out to here. Here. And we're going to go here. Nice. Let's make some trees, yo. Why are you messing on me, man? Let's see. Where am I at? Okay. Obviously my setup's not the same as his, so I'm going to put my happy little tree right there. If I can get the stem large enough. There. And let's do that. There. We got our brush, which is our standard this brush is our evergreen foliage brush that we use. I'm going to change the angle. I'm going to come dotting in here. Dot, dot, dot. Change our angle. Actually, we're going to leave the angle alone and just come down here. Go there. Increase the brush size. Increase the brush size. Yeah, I got these two things working together pretty well. I'm going to change the brush angle like that. And that's too far. Here. Come in. Bubble. Changing the angle of the brush just to add some additional texture to the trees. It doesn't have to be anything significant. I just want to make sure, like little things like that, just these little breaks, just to animate the trees a little bit more. Then you come in with the eraser, because that's how its technique works. We add and then we subtract, add and subtract, add and subtract. I want to spend a little bit more time doing here. So I want to erase some of that, some of that color I put in, so that underlayer over color, the second layer over here. I want to drop that out a bit, just to make sure that the background sinks in a little bit better, just to work with those trees, so those trees didn't stand out so much. Oh man, I feel waterlogged today. Yeah, I got water. Some pneumonia going around town. Let's go back to this tool here and down our brush size there. What are you doing? Come in here like that. That's where my tree chooses to live. We'll go back to no. I want to go to the evergreen branches. These are all branches these are all things that I custom built to be able to, like I said, with that stamping process. You stack those up and it starts to look pretty good. By itself doesn't make too much sense, perhaps. But the quality is when you have them stacked up all together, so that they create, again, the whole process of painting is to create illusions for your eye to believe what you want it to believe. So all the techniques that have been developed, like perspective and foreshortening, the color theory, all these things were designed to manipulate the experience our eye has. And ideally, when we're creating, we're wanting to build in such a way that your eye is doing work for you. That it is. I mean, we don't have to photoreal. Okay, legit photorealism is a skill set. Being able to see what's around you and accurately duplicate it on canvas is a desirable skill. At the same time, you also have to think about time efficiency. How detailed of a result are you producing for the amount of time that it requires you to do it, and exactly what does the job need to get done. Thinking about more from a production perspective as opposed to a hobby perspective. If you're just doing it for hobby, then who cares? Take as much time as you please to be as detailed as you want to get to a place where you are satisfied with the process. At the same time, if we're talking about production, like the whole reason I started doing this is because I wanted to figure out a way for me to be able to produce good-looking backgrounds in a minimal time, so that I can start integrating this stuff into the fantasy artwork that I produce. Which, of course, you can see on my DeviantArt page, link below, like, subscribe, etc. Having said that, oh man, I am pleased with that result. I'm going to come in here and see what I can do to manipulate that a bit. See, now it just looks like there's a hole. That's how well these things integrate in. I'm gonna go like that. That feels right. Merge down. I'm going to actually, because this episode is called Reflections, I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to pull that down into the water. I'm going to free transform, flip vertical, press enter. Here, I'm going to drop the opacity a bit, and then we're going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, Gaussian blur, and then filter, blur, motion blur, enter. Nice. Got that there. I'm going to here. Come here, grab this color reference. Where am I at? Almost at 30 minutes. Okay, let's see how well this waterline looks for what we're doing here. So these little checker marks here that are going across here, that is, again, that's what I call artifacts. It is when there is evidence of the brushes that you're using and the processes that you're performing, which we may have to scratch out. Here, look at that, here, and here. 70% opacity should be good. I'm going to drop this down a bit. So we're just going to grab and tug at the edges here a bit. Yeah, too rough. So let's come in here with this eraser. Better. That's pretty good. I'm gonna come out here like you had done and scratch a little bit of this in. Just give us a little bit of. It's good to do these highlights over here in these in the areas that have a lot of dark, because that's where it's going to really stand out the best. Here, breaking my own rule, but again, I'm just trying to work in the darks. You know, there's no sense trying to do this stuff over here and here, because there's a lot of highlights over there. I'm going to drop the opacity just a touch, have it blend in a bit, and hey, you know what? That looks pretty good. Let's come back up here. Let's come back here into the palette. Well, first we're going to drop that in the palettes there. I'm going to duplicate this layer. This is something I will do off and on. So we're going to size this out so that it meets there. So we're full size canvas, and when we're looking at this thing, obviously mine looks different, but I'm interested in my proportions. So I'm here. Oh yeah, he's going to be laying in more stuff here. That's awesome. So the actual, wow, is that what's going on? Neat. Okay, I might come back through and just do some overlayering, because he's got a lot more vibrance going on here than I had integrated. But I'm looking into this again, here and here. Yeah, okay, completely different, same techniques. I'm just trying to check my head on where my ratios and stuff are at. So let's see. That is plenty good. And let's come back to this this back line and then the water line. Let's see what happens when I hit that and that and scooch it. Nope, can't scooch it like that. I need to have this integrated here, 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 and here. What happens if I scooch it down a bit? Good. And then free transform. See how does that look? Rid of that. You know what? Who cares? So we're just gonna leave it be. There's no reason futzing with it. But that's the session. So we're going to start adding in tree lines over here, and we'll probably come back and play back here a little bit as well, depending on how the picture shapes up. Thanks for playing along. We'll catch you guys next time.